Hello students, welcome back. Let's continue reading the fourth chapter from your textbook Flamingo. The title of the chapter is The Rat Trap. Now we are to begin from page number 39, fourth paragraph. So the last thing that we had read was that the ironmaster had asked the valet to groom his acquaintance, Nilsolf. And as he and his daughter were talking about Nilsolf, who was in actual the rat trap seller, so he himself entered the room and he was all cleaned up and dressed up decently. Also, we are told that he had worn a smart suit which belonged to the ironmaster, and he had worn a white starched collar shirt and perfectly fitted shoes. Now let us read further. Let's begin reading. But although his guest was now so well groomed, the ironmaster did not seem pleased. He looked at him with puckered brow, and it was easy to understand that when he had seen the strange fellow in the uncertain reflection from the furnace, he might have made a mistake. But that now, when he stood there in broad daylight, it was impossible to mistake him for an old acquaintance. "What does this mean?" he thundered. The stranger made no attempt to dissimulate. He saw at once that the splendor had come to an end. So the rat trap seller was now standing in front of the ironmaster and his daughter, and here we come to know that the ironmaster was not pleased to see his old acquaintance so well groomed. Rather, what happened? He became angry. Now he looked at him with puckered brow. It is said puckered brow, it means that he had this unpleasant expression on his face which made him pucker his brow. Okay. Now why was it so? It was because he could now make out the guest's appearance well. He could not see that who was the actual person, and he realized that the guest was not his comrade, and that he had mistakenly understood some stranger as his old friend Nilsolf. Now this realization resulted him, the ironmaster, in getting furious, and he screamed at the peddler and asked him to explain. He says, "What does this mean?" he said. So the peddler knew at that very moment that the ironmaster had made out that he was not his old friend Nilsolf, and as he already knew this, so he didn't attempt to dissimulate, which means he didn't attempt to pretend anything then, and he was ready. He was ready for the consequences, and he felt that the luxurious treatment, the splendor which he was enjoying until now was about to end. Let's read ahead. "It's not my fault, sir," he said. "I never pretended to be anything but a poor trader, and I pleaded and begged to be allowed to stay in the forge. But no harm has been done. At worst, I can put on my rags again and go away." "Well," said the ironmaster, hesitating a little, "it was not quite honest either. You must admit that. And I should not be surprised if the sheriff would like to have something to say in the matter." So the peddler tried to explain then to the ironmaster that he should not be blamed for hiding his identity. He said it to the ironmaster that he was just begging for a stay in the forge all alone, which he was not allowed to, as we all know that it was the ironmaster's daughter who had approached, and the ironmaster himself who had wanted the peddler to be in their home. Okay, so it was the ironmaster's daughter who had approached the rat trap seller to accompany to their house for the Christmas Eve. Okay, now the peddler also said that he had not harmed anyone and he had not committed any sort of crime. So the worst thing he could do was to wear his rags again and return the clothes which belonged to the ironmaster. Now to this the ironmaster hesitated and said that it was not quite honest either. So what the peddler did was also not quite honest. because he also kind of pretended to be Nils Wolf. So he meant that the peddler too had not been quite honest about his own identity, and then the ironmaster kind of treated the peddler, saying that he threatened the peddler, saying that he would call the sheriff in order to solve the entire matter. Further, the tramp took a step forward and struck the table with his fist. "Now I am going to tell you, Mr. Ironmaster, how things are," he said. "This whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. All the good things that are offered to you are nothing but cheese rinds and bits of pork, set out to drag a poor fellow into trouble. And if the sheriff comes now and locks me up for this, then you, my ironmaster, must remember that day may come when you yourself may want to get a big piece of pork, and then you will get caught in the trap." So the rat trap seller gets enraged. He's also mad now upon hearing about the sheriff, that he then what he does, he struck the table very hard with his fist, and he said that he says this to the ironmaster, that this world is a rat trap, and also all the good things act like a bait. All the good things present in the world act like a bait, just like the rinds of cheese and the small piece of pork are a bait for the rat. So similarly, all the good things present in the world also attract the people towards them. Now, not only this, he also pointed out to the ironmaster that he may today be imprisoned by the sheriff, but there would come a day when the ironmaster would also be befooled by the baits offered by the world, and he would also one day get trapped like this, as the rat trap seller did. Okay, next. The ironmaster began to laugh. "That was not so badly said, my good fellow. Perhaps we should let the sheriff alone on Christmas Eve. But now get out of here as fast as you can." But just as the man was opening the door, the daughter said, "I think he ought to stay with us today. I don't want him to go." And with that she went and closed the door. "What in the world are you doing?" said the father. The daughter stood there quite embarrassed and hardly knew what to answer. That morning she had felt so happy when she thought how homelike and Christmassy she was going to make things for the poor hungry wretch. She could not get away from the idea all at once, and that was why she had interceded for the vagabond. So as the peddler opened the door, as the ironmaster asked him to leave, so he opened the door to leave the ironmaster's house. At that moment, the daughter stopped the peddler. Now, she wanted to help the poor fellow. So the ironmaster was not supportive of this decision taken by the daughter. She wanted the peddler to stay in their house, and this ironmaster was not supportive of this decision taken up by the daughter. Then it is told by the narrator that since morning the ironmaster's daughter was planning how she could make the peddler's day happy on the occasion of Christmas. Therefore, she went against her father's will and stopped him by closing the door. So she wanted to do some good to this peddler, and this was why she went against the wish of her father and allowed the peddler to spend the Christmas Eve at their house. Further, "I am thinking of this stranger here," said the young girl. "He walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. Wherever he turns, he is chased away. Always he is afraid of being arrested and cross-examined. I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here, just one in the whole year. The ironmaster mumbled something in his beard. He could not bring himself to oppose her. It was all a mistake, of course, she continued. But anyway, I don't think we ought to chase away a human being whom we have asked to come here, and to whom we have promised Christmas cheer. So now Edla's decision to make the peddler stay at their house made the father unhappy. So she tried to explain the difficulties faced by the peddler. Now we need to focus that here Edla is taking stand for the peddler, which had never happened before in the peddler's life. So she said that the peddler didn't have any house, and he keeps on wandering from one place to another, and he's turned out from wherever he goes. Okay, so she also says that this to her father, that the peddler is not welcomed by anyone at their home. There is no place for him where he is able to feel safe and sound, and so he always keeps on running in order to safeguard himself from being arrested. Okay, therefore she wanted the peddler to enjoy at least one day with peace, and that was the Christmas Eve at their home. So she also added that they should not send away a man on Christmas Eve, and that she added too that the man whom they had themselves invited to their place. So she actually argues with her father that the peddler should not be sent back from their house, as they themselves had invited him to their house. And they had also promised happiness, freedom and safety at their place. So they should not send him back. Now the ironmaster was not able to oppose what his daughter said. He wasn't able to find an answer to go against his daughter. Okay, so he says further, "You do preach worse than a parson," said the ironmaster. "I only hope you won't have to regret this." The young girl took the stranger by the hand and led him up to the table. "Now sit down and eat," she said, for she could see that her father had given in. So the only thing which the ironmaster could say to his daughter was that she was even worse than a parson. By this he means to say that his daughter was good at convincing others, persuading others, and even better than the priests at the church. Now, but he also warned her that hopefully her decision that she had taken to make this peddler stay at their place, so her decision would not bring any adverse effect on them. This was his hope. Now after all this discussion and argument, Edla took this peddler to the table and offered him food to eat. She also she did so because she was very well sure that her father had given in and had consented to her wish of letting the rat trap sellers stay in their house for the Christmas Eve, because she was sure that now the father is not going to go against her will. Therefore she made this peddler eat the food and everything. Let's read further. The man with the rat traps said not a word. He only sat down and helped himself to the food. Time after time he looked at the young girl who had interceded for him. Why has she done it? What could the crazy idea be? So now here the peddler was offered food and he didn't speak a word, any word, and he just started eating. Now while having his meal, he looked at Edla over and over again because he was doubtful about her intentions, and he was wondering why she stepped in to save him from the fury of her father, the ironmaster, and why she stopped him from leaving her house. So she was still doubtful that what was happening, what is going to happen with him. Okay, further. After that, Christmas Eve at Ramsau passed just as it always had. The stranger did not cause any trouble because he did nothing but sleep. The whole forenoon he lay on the sofa in one of the guest rooms and slept at one stretch. At noon they woke him up so that he could have his share of the good Christmas fare, but after that he slept again. It seemed as though for many years he had not been able to sleep as quietly and safely as here at Ramsau. So after the dinner, what has happened after the dinner, after the rat trap seller finished his dinner and everything, the Christmas Eve at Ramsau passed just the way it used to pass in the past. And then it is told that the peddler went to sleep after having his food, and he did not cause any kind of trouble, as he did nothing else except sleeping. So then we read that he laid on the sofa in the guest house and he slept for hours at a stretch. Then he was once woken up in the afternoon for having his share of the good Christmas fare. He had his lunch and he again went to sleep. Now the narrator says that it seemed as if he had never got a chance to sleep so peacefully and safely as he got to sleep at the ironmaster's place. Further, in the evening when the Christmas tree was lighted, they woke him up again, and he stood for a while in the drawing room, blinking as though the candlelight hurt him. But after that he disappeared again. 2 hours later he was aroused once more. He then had to go down into the dining room and eat the Christmas fish and porridge. So in the evening the family again woke him up as they had to light up the Christmas tree. So he woke up, he stood there blinking his eyes as if, the light which was coming to his eyes was hurting him, the light from the candles. And then he again went to sleep. After lighting up the Christmas tree, he again went to sleep. Finally, they called him again after 2 hours for the dinner of Christmas, which had fish and porridge. Further, as soon as they got up from the table, he went around to each one present and said thank you and good night. But when he came to the young girl, she gave him to understand that it was her father's intention that the suit which he wore was to be a Christmas present. He did not have to return it, and if he wanted to spend next Christmas Eve in a place where he could rest in peace and be sure that no evil would befall him, he would be welcomed back again. So as soon as the dinner was over, the peddler thanked everyone present there in personally, and when he reached Edla to thank her, so she said to the peddler that the clothes which were given to him, the suit which was given to him by the ironmaster, were a Christmas present for him from her father. So he didn't have to return them, and he could carry them with him. Now she even invited the peddler to be with her family for the next Christmas Eve, and she promised that nothing bad would happen to him. Further, the man with the rat traps did not answer anything to this. He only stared at the young girl in boundless amazement. The next morning the ironmaster and his daughter got up in good season to go to the early Christmas service. The guest was still asleep and they did not disturb him. So the peddler did not have any answer. He was amazed. He was amused that why was this lady being so sweet to him. Okay. And even after knowing that he was not the old acquaintance of the ironmaster, still they were treating him well. Especially Edla was treating him well. So the peddler did not have any answers for this gesture which was made by the ironmaster's daughter, and he just kept staring at her, wondering what was happening with him. Why was she doing so? Why was she being so sweet to him? Now next day both the ironmaster and his daughter went for the Christmas service early in the morning to the church, and they didn't disturb their guest, the rat trap seller, as he was asleep. Next, when about 10 o'clock they drove back from the church, the young girl sat and hung her head even more dejectedly than usual. At church she had learned that one of the old crofters of the ironworks had been robbed by a man who went around selling rat traps. "Yes, that was a fine fellow you let into the house," said the father. "I only wonder how many silver spoons are left in the cupboard by this time." So now what has happened? So about 10 o'clock, when Edla and her father were driving back from the church, Edla was sitting in a very depressed mood and she had hung her head in disappointment. As at the church, both the ironmaster and his daughter had come to know that a rat trap seller had stolen money from one of the crofter of the ironworks, and they realized that he was the same man whom they had over as a guest. Okay, so the ironmaster says this to his daughter that, "Yes, that was a fine fellow you let into the house. I wonder how many silver spoons are left in the cupboard by this time." So the ironmaster here taunted his daughter, who insisted to give shelter to a thief, and then he was wondered that he was actually wondering that how many silver spoons had been stolen by him. Okay, he was just wondering that when they reach back home, how many silver spoons will they be able to find. Okay, so he was hopeful that this person is surely going to rob all the silver spoons. Further, the wagon had hardly stopped at the front steps when the ironmaster asked the valet whether the stranger was still there. He added that he had heard at church that the man was a thief. The valet answered that the fellow had gone and that he had not taken anything with him at all. On the contrary, he had left behind a little package which Miss Wilmanson was to be kind enough to accept as a Christmas present. So the ironmaster, on reaching home, inquired about the peddler from the valet, and he also told him that he was a thief. The information which the ironmaster got from the church, he told this information to the valet as well, that person who was staying with them was a thief and he had stolen the money of the crofter. But to his surprise, what happens? The valet told him that the peddler had left the house and instead of taking something, he had left a small Christmas present for Miss Wilmanson. Let's read further. The young girl opened the package, which was so badly done up that the contents came into view at once. She gave a little cry of joy. She found a small rat trap, and in it lay 3 wrinkled 10-krono notes. But that was not all. In the rat trap lay also a letter written in large jagged characters. "Honored and noble Miss, since you have been so nice to me all day long as if I was a captain, I want to be nice to you in return, as if I was a real captain. For I do not want you to be embarrassed at this Christmas season by a thief. But you can give back the money to the old man on the roadside, who has the money pouch hanging on the window frame as a bait for poor wanderers. The rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat who would have been caught in this world's rat trap if he had not been raised to captain, because in that way he got power to clean himself. Written with friendship and high regard, Captain von Stahl." Okay. So the ironmaster's daughter opened the gift, and it was so roughly packed that all the contents of it came out at once. So Edla was overjoyed when she opened the present, and what did she find in there? Apart from a rat trap and 3 chrono notes, she found a letter. Okay, so there was a rat trap, then there was a letter, and there were 10 chronos note. Now in the letter, the peddler had thanked Edla, who had taken care of him as if he was a real captain. So in turn, he gifted her a rat trap and also requested her to return the stolen money, the amount of 30 kronos, to the old man, to the old crofter. Now he said that the rat trap was a Christmas present from a rat, that was he himself, the rat was the peddler, who had been caught up in the rat trap of the world, and it was she who let him free from this rat trap by raising his status from that of a mere peddler to that of a captain. Okay, so she was the one who was responsible for this change that came in the rat trap seller. And at last he undersigned as Captain von Stahl. So the politeness, the empathy, the care, the respect shown by this Edla motivated the rat trap seller to arouse his conscience and realize his mistake, which resulted him in saving himself from getting trapped into the rat trap of the world yet again. Okay, so this is all about the chapter. Go through the entire chapter in detail. Note down your doubts to be discussed in the next online session. Stay safe. Thank you.